McToon exposes sex with aliens. The fascist party of the 30s had alien help. Think I need help. Schrodinger's cat fights more strikes, and the return of Virgo Triad. Those stories and more today as the plot thickens. Rack focus. Good afternoon, everyone. Johnny O from the Plot Hole. I don't even know where to start this episode, so let's just get into it. It's no secret that heavy metal music is preferred on this channel. As a matter of fact, a lot of you have noticed and sent in your complaints. Well, too bad, so sad. I'm not changing it. Recently, metal music giant Metallica saw the 30th anniversary of its self-titled album, commonly known as the Black Album. With mega hits such as Enter Sandman, Sad But True, Nothing Else Matters, Wherever I May Roam, and The Unforgiven, Metallica's Black Album has become one of the 4 records that have charted 500 weeks or more on the Billboard Top 200, thus becoming the 4th longest charting record in the Nielsen era. Leading Metallica's multi-platinum releases, the Black Album has sold over 16 million copies, thus reaching diamond certification. One simply can't state how influential this record has been on the music industry. It seems Jake the Asshole can't stand anyone who looks different or challenges his ridiculous claims about parabolic flights and the flat earth.
What's up, guys? Jake the Asshole here, fresh off of the destruction of Simon Dan. And some of Simon Dan's subs, including his own boyfriend, are having a hard time dealing with the fact that their man just got destroyed. So Simon Dan has a boyfriend, and he is very triggered. Simon Dan's butt buddy is very triggered. Simon Dan's butt buddy is none other than a fella named Creaky Blinder. And let me tell you, if you thought Simon Dan was annoying, holy shit, this guy brings annoying to a whole nother level. He calls himself Creaky Blinder, and you are going to wish that you were Blinder, because this is one of the most ugly-looking losers you will ever have the misfortune of laying your eyeballs upon.
Yep, the homophobia and incredulity is on full display as Jake continues to demonstrate that he has no grip on reality. Like flies to poop, Jake's followers pile on in the comments section. They continue to show how they have no real understanding of mathematics, physics, science, photography, videography, etc. These things have been explained to them several times over. Perhaps the advancement of commercial flight will finally put an end to this flat earth nonsense. After a lengthy recovery, Virgo Triad has returned.
The facts matter.
So here we go. This is a oathkeeper and accused Capitol rioter who owns a tattoo parlor in upstate New York that unwittingly poured his heart out to an off-duty FBI agent who stopped by his business for an appointment. This is a crazy story. I just wanted to share it with you guys since I did cover the Capitol incident a few months ago in January. Well, more than a few months now, but here we go. Roberto Menuda, who's facing serious conspiracy charges for his alleged role in the January 6th insurrection, was lulled into a false sense of security when a group of people, including the agent, booked an appointment to get matching tattoos at his parlor, Casa di Dolor.
Back and without missing a beat, Virgo Triad exposes the Capitol rioters, just completely showing how silly and stupid they are, especially the ones that rat themselves out to FBI investigators. Keeping It Criminal recently posted an expose on an egregious offense committed by Auditors of America, LDOF.
Jeremiah is a big fraud. Hey, welcome back to Keeping It Criminal. I am Kick, and of course I want to thank all my channel members. I also want to thank those who have upgraded their memberships recently. And if I don't sound like I'm too excited, it's because I'm still sick. But Jeremiah Payne has done something so egregious that I had absolutely no choice but to make a video today. You may know him as Auditors of America LDOF, which stands for Last Days of Freedom, and his Last Days of Freedom are coming very soon. As we all know, Jeremiah likes to visit certain federally protected places, such as courthouses and post offices, while carrying a firearm, which is a federal offense. I've made sure to forward those videos as well as the audio clips where he is provoking police and other people that work at those locations while carrying a firearm. But last night, Jeremiah posted a new t-shirt to his merch store. That shirt has the picture of the 13 recently deceased Marines who were overseas. People who actually fought and died for their country. Jeremiah decided that this would be a gold mine and put their pictures all over a very poorly done t-shirt design, if you could call it that. He did this so that way he could pay for his attorney fees to file vexatious litigation against the city of Russellville, Kentucky.
After being called out for this error in judgment, Jeremiah has posted all proceeds from his shirt sales to charity. In related news, Keeping It Criminal has decided not to quit his day job in order to pursue singing. Thank you. Fresh off of his hunt for edible vanilla and raw honey, Brainy Beaver returns in order to bring us the second most ridiculous thing you're going to see in today's episode.
You see, what we found out is that there was a huge Nazi presence in Antarctica at the end of World War II. Moreover, they had help, extraterrestrial help, and in fact, very surprising extraterrestrial help.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel that basically feels like it's releasing biannual episodes at this point. Today I have a group of remote viewers that claim to have information about Nazi bases in Antarctica. Now, for any of you who don't know what remote viewing is, basically it's this. So with that, let's begin.
Approximately 1 year after Germany surrendered at the close of World War II, Rear Admiral Richard Byrd led an expedition to Antarctica called Operation High Jump. Now, at the time, the United States had spent a lot of money on World War II. The end of the war would normally be considered a time to close down military activities, consolidate gains, save cash, and so on. But this expedition to Antarctica involved tremendous resources. Those resources were called Task Force 68.
Why not just call it Task Force 69? Yes, I'm a child. Now listen, you would think that they would ramp down military spending, but America had this unique situation where they were fairly undamaged. So they got busy selling products to Europe to rebuild. This allowed them to have lots of extra money, and they were actually on a bit of an expansionism tear at that point. It's actually more likely they were jacked up on freedom and European women.
Now, the stated reason for the task force to Antarctica was to gather data, to explore, to see if it was possible to design air bases in that cold location and that type of thing. Sort of National Geographic on steroids.
That's not National Geographic on steroids, this is.
But friends, you don't need 13 military ships, 33 military aircraft, and nearly 5,000 military personnel to do that, especially for an inhospitable location that you don't know much about. I can see 1 or 2 ships and a couple of aircraft to check out the scene, but an entire armada armed to the teeth doesn't seem to match the stated goals of the expedition.
Well, what do you suppose they would send on a mission like that? A bunch of cruise ships ready for a Caribbean vacation? Fishing trawlers? A fat guy on an inner tube. So that's it then, they should just round up some fishing trawlers and fat guys on inner tubes. You realize that to have any sort of remote location, you need to have a logistics line, right? Like, how many people do you think were even employed in just the task of bringing food to a Roman siege?
Brainy Beaver goes on to show just how difficult the mental gymnastics that good old Numblips here has to use in order to spread his nonsensical mumbo jumbo. I mean, aliens and fascists together on Antarctica. What will these conspiratorial-minded folks think of next?
So I've had sex with an alien. This is definitely non-holographic sex. Father must feast on vanquished flesh with his son.
I had to ask. I mean, when I went back to school to study and get my bachelor's in English and journalism, I studied hard. Never did I think that path would lead me here. Sex with aliens. What rabbit hole have I fallen into? Yes, you heard that right. This guy had sex with an alien. McToon managed to somehow find the most insane thing you're gonna see today on this show.
Hello, I'm McToon. Let's meet Simon Parks. His big thing is that he's been contacted by aliens. Well, not just contacted, he was raised by aliens. He thinks that his mom and dad are both aliens. He has had sex with aliens. He also claims to have raped, murdered, and finally eaten the actress from the British 1970s Fry's Turkish Delight commercial. Yeah, really, he admitted to that.
So I'm on this chair, and he's offered me this pretty young female, and I say, can I have her? Or can I have, this is really funny, or can I have the woman on the Fry's Turkish Delight advert that's on television? And he says...
As a 6-year-old boy?
Yes, yeah. And he says to me, think of her and she is yours. So I imagine her, and there she is. And she's there with a veil and everything. She's sitting on me. And without being too crude, he says, do you know what to do with her? And I say, no. He says, well, I'll enter your mind and show you what to do. So without going into horrific detail, have sex with her.
At 6 years old?
Yes. And he is instructing me how to have sex. And he says, the woman, it's awful this, isn't it? The man is there to take, the woman is there to give. And he says, the only reason that woman was put on the earth is to serve and to make replacements. That's the word he uses, make replacements. And then when we've had sex, he says, now father and son have shared a female. He said, would you like to eat her? Why do I have to do that? He says, you don't have to do it, but if you do it, we will become father and son. And I said, but I thought we were father and son. In our law, that's the reptilian law, father must feast on vanquished flesh with his son before you ask.
Don't worry, it turns out the woman that he sexually assaulted and tortured, killed, and then ate was only a holographic clone.
It's not real, it's all holographic.
So that's perfectly okay, isn't it? Can any philosophers in the audience confirm that? As far as we know, the real actress in this commercial lived until 2008 and had no knowledge of Simon Parks' horrible, creepy rape fantasies. Sadly, that's not true for the real, non-holographic women that became members of Simon Parks' UFO cult.
I don't know if I just don't have the same type of following as McToon or Creaky Blinder or the other ones, or maybe it's just I don't have the time to sift through all the stupid and I just don't know what it is. But guys, send me some of these videos, please. McToon had way too much fun with this one. I mean, who wouldn't? I can't even begin to properly break this one down into a bite-sized nugget for this news recap. So be sure to go check this one out over on McToon's channel. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Fair warning, bring a lot of facepalm protection. Finally, YouTube has struck again, and they've hit Schrodinger's cat. As I'm sure many of you know, Schrodinger's cat received another community guideline strike on his channel for medical misinformation. Once again for a video he made covering the idiotic ideas of anti-vaxxers and those who deny, well, we'll just say those who deny the spread of an illness. I mean, these bots that run YouTube might see this video covering another video who was struck badly for medical misinformation as medical misinformation. So, in order to combat that, let me go ahead and read this statement. The plot hole fully supports the WHO's and the CDC's recommendation that everyone who can get the vaccine do get the vaccine. The current situation involving the spread of a deadly illness can be curbed with a little effort on all of our parts. That being said, YouTube needs to figure something out about how they deal with bad information, dangerous information, or medical misinformation. Yes, I understand that YouTube is a business and they have to do what they can to manage costs. But once again, they've entered into contracts with each and every person who participates in the YouTube Partnership Program. When they remove content that does not violate the terms of service, community guidelines, or whatever, they're now violating that contract. YouTube isn't following the rules, and we are the ones who have to pay for it. What should be done? Well, like many, I don't know. I don't have a great answer. But I can tell you that we do need more human interaction. And we need real human interaction. Not this canned response bullshit that the majority of us who take a legitimate complaint to YouTube generally come across. Unfortunately, unless the bigger channels like the Logan Pauls and the PewDiePies and SS Sniper Wolves, etc. join up and actually defend us smaller channels, nothing's going to change. We will continue to be at the mercy of bad algorithms, arbitrarily applied rules, and loss of thousands of dollars in revenue. I hear a lot of you questioning someone like me with what appears to be a small channel. And yes, on the surface level, I do have a small channel. Now, 5,000 subscribers is nothing to shake a stick at, and I'm grateful for being in the position that I'm in. But just to put things into perspective for you, a channel like mine that breaks that 5,000 subscriber threshold joins the top 25% of content creators on YouTube. That's right, top 25% or more have 5,000 or more subscribers. Once I get to that 10,000 mark, like, share, and subscribe, please, helps me out. Sharing all the old socials, best way to help me grow this channel. But once I hit that 10,000 mark, I'll join the top 10%. Now you've got channels like Schrodinger's Cat who have 130 plus thousand subscribers. He's in the top 1%. And he still gets bad targets and canned responses from YouTube. Now, if Schrodinger's Cat, someone who has a top 1% channel on YouTube, he receives hundreds of thousands of views per video. If someone like Schrodinger can't get an actual human to respond to him in a timely manner, what do the rest of us who have small channels in comparison, what can we expect? What chance do we have of playing within the YouTube sandbox and getting a fair shake? Schrodinger should be considered an influential channel. He's not. Schrodinger makes hundreds of thousands of views per video, putting out sometimes 3 videos a week. That's a lot of ad revenue. Where am I going with this? That's a good question. If a channel like Schrodinger's Cat, which is in the top 1%, can't seem to get the responses that he needs or continues to receive the bad treatment of the algorithm and the canned responses of YouTube, then how does a small channel like yours or mine have even the slightest chance of getting the help that we need? And it's not like we're trying to subvert the rules. We want to play within the sandbox that is YouTube. We're not actively trying to break the terms of service. We're simply trying to follow the rules and not upset the almighty algorithm. And that's our show. I hope you enjoyed yourself today. I want to send a special thank you and shout out to all of my current channel members and patrons. Your support means the world to me. Without your continued support, I wouldn't be able to justify all the time that I spend making these videos to my wife. You too can get on the action by hitting that join button down below or heading over to www.patreon.com/theplothole1. Stay tuned as I have a special story on Kent Hovind coming out, I hope next week. We'll see what happens. I'm still wrapping up some of the initial investigations. Anyway, as always, I'm Johnny O, and I'll be sure to keep you updated as the plot thickens.